Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you have been here before, but if you're new, welcome newly here. I hope you'll enjoy my full of assignment YouTube channel. So here I am, I'm back again. I'm still on the floor, but I'm on a different house. This is my sister's house, and my niece is sleeping right now, so I cannot be really loud, so I'm sorry for that. Maybe you're wondering I might sound a little bit unexcited or a little bit tired. It's because my head is kind of killing me right now because all of these things that are happening. So anyway, so let's just get started to the point. So I am assigned to present a journal review in advanced reading A2 class. So let's just get into the presentation, shall we? So today or this morning, I will be presenting my journal review on this journal titled Effects of Board Games on Speaking Ability of Low Proficiency ESL Learners, and it is written by two people of Malaysia, and they are Yong Mei Fong and Yuli Limin. Sorry if I slaughtered their names. I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to pronounce Chinese names, so I'm sorry again. So Yong Mei Fong and Li Min were students of English department in the University Putra Malaysia in Selangor, and they're writing this journal together, I think, to see what is the effects on board games for the ESL learner or English second language learners when they have low proficiency. So what's low proficiency actually is? Low proficiency, if I have to put it very simply, is when students or people who speak English but it is not their native language, so they will have sometimes they will have low proficiency, which is a lack of fluency in speaking English. I am pretty sure we all know that students who learn English or learning any languages that are their second language or foreign language, they will sometimes feel discomfort or anxiety because maybe they're afraid of making grammatical mistakes, they're afraid of peers' judgment, teacher, lecturer judgment, and many fears that they might have. Kind of anxiety or discomfort is kind of like quite common. Maybe these two writers of the journal wants to see, oh, how can we actually improve the student who has low proficiency on ESL to become better at their speaking performance and to feel more comfortable. Actually, in order to become a better English speaker or better second language or foreign language speaker, you must be comfortable with yourself. You must have self-confidence, self-control, and all that stuff in order to probably have a higher proficiency in speaking. So that's why these people created this journal. So they want to see, oh, how can we improve these students? So these two researchers will actually apply a board game called What Say You in their learning activity, in their speaking, teaching, or learning activity, to see what's gonna happen next once they play the board game, like will there be changes and all that stuff. Participants of this experiment is 60 students from Polytechnic Malacca, and 30 of them are majoring in international business, and 30 of them are majoring in accounting. The method they're using in this experiment is called quasi-experimental method to determine whether or not this board game will affect the students or not. So they actually have two instruments to conduct this experiment or research. First is the questionnaire, and second is the board game called What Say You. So on the questionnaires, obviously there will be questions such as not really questions, like statements, so they'll kind of agree or not agree with that. One of the statements that I read was, I feel frightened when I don't understand what my teacher or lecturers say when they speak English and all that. And the question represents 5 kind of levels of anxiety. First, not at all anxious. Second is slightly anxious, and then just moderately anxious, and then very anxious, and then lastly, last but not least, is extremely anxious. And for the board game itself, called What Say You, it's actually a board game that gives the student that makes students be in a group discussion, and they will be given topic and time to speak about what they like and so on, and not really what they like, but like they will be given a topic and they will be given time to talk about the topic. And for example, maybe the group students will be in groups. Obviously the group student will be in groups, and then like let's say here I say it's in a circle, and then one person will talk about the topic, and then they will be given the time to talk about the topic, and then the next person will continue, and so on and so forth until the end of the circle. And the questioner is or will be given to them before the experiment or the activity actually begins, so the researchers know what they feel while they're learning the speaking stuff and all that stuff. And what say you board game obviously is done during the learning process, and it's a game, and it's definitely, I think, is a good way to do an experiment. And not only that, I think low proficiency students need to speak more in order to have a higher proficiency level. So I think this is a pretty cool experiment to read. I feel like I'm kind of experiencing this too, so it's kind of cool. AC is kind of loud. And anyway, let's talk about the result of the experiment. So, not surprising, apparently, the questionnaire have a lot of answers where the students feel moderately anxious. There were students who were afraid of their peers' judgment. They were afraid when the teacher said something that they don't understand, and apparently they're also a little bit too afraid to ask advice from the lecturer or teacher because they don't want to get judgment and all that stuff. In conclusion, they were just anxious, discomfortable, uncomfortable, and all that stuff. And after the board game, surprise! Apparently, before this board game, their scores were averagely C or C plus, or maybe below 50. But after this board game, so they're kind of like there's gonna be like two final results. First is their speaking performance, and second is the speaking test or score. And apparently it shows a very great significant of change in their score. So many students got score over 50, which is definitely awesome. And then their speaking performance eventually become very much better. So before this they were anxious about in a group discussion, or they were nervous before a presentation and all that stuff, and they're not excited when they're given speaking assignment and all that stuff. But after this board game, they change, and it's so I said that the score's change was significant, but apparently their speaking performance was even more significant. Why? Because they become more excited when the teacher or lecturer gave them the assignment, and they're more comfortable when they're in a group discussion. They have more self-confidence in presentation, and overall they just become better. They become more comfortable with themselves. You might think, oh, how could that happen? So here it is written that this happens because, as I said before, that in order to have a little bit of, or maybe a higher proficiency level of speaking for ESL learners, you need to speak a lot. Obviously, you need to practice a lot. And before this board game, they were anxious, they were uncomfortable, they didn't have self-confidence. So obviously they wouldn't speak because they're scared to speak. And when they don't understand what the teacher said or what the lecturer said, they don't ask, or they don't ask for explanation to eventually understand what their lecturer said or what teacher said. Instead, they just become silent, and they eventually didn't learn, which definitely made them have low proficiency. And other than that, apparently in this class of 60 people, of 30 people or 60 people, they speak more of their native language, which is Malaysian, because they understand it better rather than English. And by not speaking what we are learning in this example, English, obviously they wouldn't improve at all at their English if they just keep on using their native language or Malaysian language or Malaysian. And during the board game, apparently they were able to develop their self-confidence and self-control, because maybe they felt more safe in a group discussion, in a circle. They know each other better, and then they just feel more comfortable, which definitely causes them to have a little more higher proficiency, which makes their score and performance become significantly better. So I think that is kind of and quite impressive how this board game really affects them. In my opinion, this journal is truly, dare I say, fun to read. It is very informative, and it is very knowledgeable. I got some knowledge in here, and this is my first time ever hearing the experiments called quasi experiments. So yeah, it's definitely cool. I learned something new. And second of all, I think this is fun for me because I genuinely like talking about speaking skill. So I think this is definitely a very interesting topic for me. That's why I kind of really like it. And the words here are not like too hard for me to understand. It's easy for me to comprehend, and it's just straight to the point, and it's kind of short. I'm not that good at reading, so this one's a little bit short, so I don't feel too burdened to read it all. And I think it's just like a really fun and something that I quite enjoy reading so far. And definitely, I'm also really impressed by the result of this research. I think it's very cool, and I just love seeing people improve positively. So I think that's why I really enjoy this. I really kind of enjoy reading this journal, and it is awesome, and it is definitely nicely, neatly written. So I think that's all. I think that's all from me for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if that was a little bit too fast, a little bit too slow, or a little bit too little, or a little bit too much even. So I just hope this assignment, I just hope this coronavirus thing stops, so we don't have to do this never ending assignment anymore. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I just hope my assignment will be fulfilled. Thank you so much for watching once again. Goodbye. See you maybe on our next video, if you ever actually watch my video. Bye.